Hey everybody, how we doing? It's dark out, got a lot of different things going on. So this is the latest I've fed in a long time, but isn't that late, it's just getting dark that fast. My boy Gussie Gus is changing to red. He's like white all summer long, and then when his winter coat comes in, he'll come out, he'll turn just red. See, his knees were just totally white and everything. He'll just turn red all over, and he'll actually turn out to pair it with Boom really well when his winter coat is on. So, all right, another boring video for some of you, I'm sure, but stretchers. All right, I didn't make either one of these two. We're gonna look at a couple of differences. This pair right here is Jeff's. That pair right there is mine. Let's see here. Where to start? We'll start with these. All right, so these right here are old set, and I have welded these up several times. I've welded, where's one right here, twice. I think I had re-weld this because it was kept on spraying. I think that's 3/4 inch round right here, and this is 5/8. I've welded up, you can see where I welded up the front. I welded the bottom multiple times because it was getting real thin, which scrapes the ground across the bottom. You can see how this is splitting going in, and it's giving up this piece of hickory. That's because I cut it with a chainsaw, because that's what I had handy. When I break one, I generally have a chainsaw closer to me than an axe. The better way to cut one is with an axe, which Jeff has done with his. If you look, it's tapered, and just the further that piece slides on there, the tighter it gets, and those do seem to hold up to a little more pressure before they break. Normally hang something in the middle and break them, but definitely not always. I shred the ends like you know, it comes in, and just as it comes in, you see I've taken up one link here because it's come in. These guys right here, you can't use just the regular ones, you have to use the red ones. These guys will wear out very quickly if you don't use the high grade ones, and they're getting a little bit harder to find. I've seen different people's designs, and I am very biased towards this design right here, which Jeff and his posse came up with. And you see this one's getting very worn, it's getting very thin right here. And you know, I'm not going to build it back up or anything. I'm going to let it break because I don't like something about it. If you look, when it hooks, it's got that much room right there, so it can actually unhook within itself, basically. I like Jeff's much better. It's a much tighter ring, so it's just a fudge hard to hook, but when it bumps, it won't come unhook near so easily because it's a tighter circle there, and that actually adds up. All right, so Jason or son, I'm going to put his name in the comment or in the description below. He's the one that built these. All right, he did a really nice job, and he built these guys. These guys right here do not have that extra bend, and so the single tree can just unslide and unhook fairly easily, which can be a pain, obviously. That extra bend here, hang on one second, that extra bend makes it where it cannot unhook inside the woods nearly so easy. So that is kind of a nice thing. Be careful when you make them. You want to get that gap. It seems like real simple, but it's actually kind of complicated. That gap's probably a hair big, maybe. This gap over here is actually a hair tight. It needs to be spread out. It's a little bit of a pain getting in and out that single tree. It needs to be just a little bit wider. There's actually a lot of angles that goes on with these. And it's actually kind of a pain. But I get along with these guys right here. I get along with them just fine. So these guys right here Actually, I had said I retired these guys, and Jeff may put new ones on at the same time. And I bent mine out fairly quickly, and I reinforced it and bent other places and stuff. I finally said, to heck with it. I built the wheel back up on this one, and I kept on using it. The difference is this made out of 5/8. That's made out of 3/4. And this has bent out on me. I had bent it back in and built the wheel back up, but it's so rare that it does that, you know. So with a smaller team or smaller critters, 5/8 is the way to go. It doesn't sound like much, but if you can shave off a few ounces as you're picking that up and handling it throughout the day, it really, really adds up. So even my single tree, this is the single trees that I prefer to use. They're a lighter duty single tree, but it's so much easier for me to pick up a handle throughout the day than a heavy duty one. It's amazing throughout the weeks, throughout the month, throughout the year, how much that adds up. So if you don't need it, you don't have a real hard pulling team, or, I mean, if you snatch, then you need, you know, you probably need a lot. You know, me nor just snatch. And so, but, you know, if I had maybe a 1,400 pound, you know, a smaller team, 5/8 is great. If you're gonna go, you know, if you've got a little bit bigger team and knows how to pull, even if you don't snatch, you really need to go with 3/4. You know, so if you order a set from him, you might just keep that in mind. Really happy. So I'm not gonna get into how some of the tricks and whatnot of the spreader, because yeah, it's one of those things that, yeah, but that's just how it's made. This metal right here, I've only broken one link. This is a very high tensile metal, and it doesn't have to be, I have had them with smaller links. It doesn't even have to be that big, but it's, I forget the grade of chain. That's a very high grade of chain that is on there. So a smaller chain that is a higher grade would probably be preferable, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, as this crunches in, I'll either get a new stick or I'll just take one link up. And as your links wear, your chain lengthens. And so I'm always shortening it because it's always getting a little longer as a spread. I have broke one chain, but you gotta realize you know, I've done a lot of ground skinning with them. So it's about time. That's all I have to say. So yeah, there you have it, guys. To everybody that has subscribed and commented and everything, I'm honestly kind of flattered. I never thought, you know, I would get to, you know, people who want to watch this much stuff or whatever. So thank you. It's kind of surprising for me a little bit, really. So anyway, hope y'all have a fantastic night, and God bless.